So today this video is about questions that first-time pistol buyers or pistol owners have when coming to the gun shop. What better place to cover these questions than at the gun shop? Let's head inside and let's find out. Besides the fact that I get a lot of them in my comment section, and it's something that I really wanted to touch bases on for quite a bit some time. Julian, good morning. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. Where is everybody? Bebo, hello. Short delay, his legs are short, so it's gonna take him a minute to get here. Little legs and little arms. How you doing today? ¿Cómo están hoy? Gracias a Dios. Okay, so we are going. Good morning. I'm pretty good. How about yourself?
Excellent. Good to see you too.
Same. Good to see you too. Okay, so today I want to talk about, the questions that first-time gun owners or people just becoming into the space. And Alex, I didn't even see you there. Good morning. How are you? Pardon my rudeness. So today, yes, I want to talk about the questions that first-time gun owners or some first-time gun buyers come into the shop and ask. I want to cover, the insecurities and the feelings that they have. Good morning, Bebo. How are you? Insecurities and issues or feelings that they might encounter when they're coming into the space. There's nothing to be intimidated by. There's nothing to worry about, and there's a space for you. So with that being said, Bebo, as I was just explaining, and of course, what better place to come and have this conversation than at the gun shop itself. So what I want to talk to you about today is, what is the number one question or number one fear that you have with people that come into the shop looking for either something to protect themselves with, something to practice with, or just getting into the space itself?
I think the number one concern for the people that are just starting out is, does it have a safety?
Okay.
Like, that's the first thing they always ask, and then obviously they want like the best, but they don't know if they're ready to commit to a certain amount of price or quality. They don't know a lot, so basically you just kind of like take them baby steps,
right?
Just showing them from the basics, and then how you can progress and what certain features one has versus the other features that another one might not have.
Okay, and based on what you're saying, I can appreciate that a lot. It's not based off of the sale on the price of what it is that you're selling. Mm-hmm. You are really getting to know and becoming familiar with the person who is interested in making the purchase based on their build, their stature, their hand sizes. And yes, this is not a one-size-fit-all situation. So based on how it is that it feels in your hand is the number one thing that you need to be looking for. Besides, when I tell y'all the way that it looks, you have to be visually attracted to it. To me, that is very important as well. But how does it feel in your hand? And the safety. Yes, safety may seem like it's a very important or very an issue that a lot of people can have with having a firearm, but if you're not prepared to carry one in the chamber, then the safety would be not something that they should be really concerned about too early.
Yeah, I mean, that is more often than not, it's a deal breaker to certain people, especially when they're starting out, because they don't know. Even if they're not planning to carry one in the chamber, because most beginners don't, just because it makes them feel uneasy, makes them think it can go off while they're carrying, a bunch of reasons. Most people still want that safety because it gives them like that,
sense of security.
Yeah, sense of security, that extra protection in the back of their mind that they feel like, well, this safety is going to stop it from going off regardless.
Right.
So I need it.
Right. Okay. Now, another thing, there's so many different varieties of firearms. You have micro compact, subcompact, compact, full size. There's so many varieties of pistols that you are able to choose from. What is the right fit for you? That is probably something that they should take into consideration based on what it is that they want to do with the firearm. Now, for me, micro compact, subcompact is something that I would not recommend to a first-time shooter.
Me neither. I wouldn't. I always ask, my first question is always, first, what are your intentions to do with this firearm? Is it something that you want for self-defense? Are you going to carry it every day? Are you going to leave it at home? Is it a home protection gun? Is this something that you're just going to use for the range when you go out with your buddies? You might be getting into target shooting, might be getting into competitions, IADPA, all that sort of stuff. So depending on what you tell me you want out of the firearm you're trying to purchase today, then I kind of tailor around that. You know, if you want something to carry, I'm obviously not going to recommend you maybe a 17 Glock 17 size firearm, because that is a full size.
Right.
Might be uncomfortable, especially if you're a smaller build guy. You like to wear tight
Or
fitting
lady.
clothes, or lady, or you like to wear tight fitting clothes. That is a pretty big gun. So I always try to tailor something smaller to people I want to carry every day. But if it's like a home protection gun or like a target practice gun, then I try to recommend you the biggest possible, because you're gonna have the less recoil. It's gonna be more accurate, more capacity. You know, it's just more benefits for those
Right.
areas.
And that goes back to what I was saying. You don't want to turn anybody off based on the shoot or the style of shoot because of the pistol size. Micro compact, subcompact pistols tend to be a lot more snappier for the first time shooter, and it would really turn, you know, even a woman, it can even turn a man off to say, you know what, this may not be for me. Something as light as a 9mm can have that type of negative effect on people getting into it in the beginning. I don't want to say that 9mm is just this most crazy size round. No, and I would steer 380 as well, depending on the size of the person that is shooting. But if the 9mm is coming out of something small, it's going to be obnoxious, and that's not what we want, especially. So when we are coming into this, that is something that, you know,
That's definitely it's the most important thing to take into account, because some people are like, no, I need a 45 or a 40 because, you know, stopping power. And it's like, you know, depending, now if you want to go 40, you kind of would have to go a little bit bigger gun, because you go 40 and almost small barrel, it's gonna feel like you're shooting a cannon.
Right. Not only that, it's a 22 can do the same damage
Yes.
as a 9mm.
Shot placement.
Shot placement and accuracy, becoming efficient and proficient with your firearm is the most important part of this. And in order for you to make that happen, or, you know, you have to have something that you're comfortable with, so that you
100%.
can practice with it and become the best shooter that you can be with your firearm.
Yep.
So now all of this that we said has probably gone straight over the heads. Like, what is a subcompact? What is a compact? What is something that you would recommend for somebody my size? I am 5'3", roughly 170 pounds maybe. For a woman like me, what would you say? Me saying, Bebo, I am here. I'm looking for a firearm, something to protect myself, something that I can carry, but it's not in a 9mm, but it's not a crazy shoot if I was to go ahead and take that out and start practicing
So
with.
obviously, not just because I know you, I would first obviously ask you your knowledge on firearms. Do you shoot? How often do you shoot? Have you shot at all? Do you own a firearm? Depending on what you say there, most of the time they're like, no, I've never shot, I've never owned a firearm. This is my first time, this is what I'm doing, right? So I have like a certain like list I like to go through, you know, feel them out, see what they like. But one of my go-tos, and it's not a plug or anything, but one of my go-tos right now that just works every time I offer it has really been the Ruger Security 380. It's a 380. She did say it was a female, 5'3", you know, not that big. So it's a 15 round 380. It is empty. Comes with a safety, and it has like their light rack technology, so it's super easy to rack.
That is smooth.
So that helps. Yeah, it helps the people like filter, because everybody is so like persistent on like, oh, the slide stop, it doesn't come down. It's very hard when you're not really manipulating that as much as you think you would be. You know, it's kind of just when you first load it and you don't even really have to use it.
Right.
So this actually, the gun is so smooth, it kind of keeps their mind off of, oh my God, it's so stiff, I can't manipulate it.
Right.
It being so smooth, it's a good selling point, and it alleviates the stress of, well, what if I really need to use it? I'm not going to be able to rack it. So
Right.
this one is a very good choice, and that one I would say is in the compact size.
And although it is in the compact, drop that slide for me, please. Although it is in the compact slide, it is a 380, so it is a much lighter round than your. Can you hold this for me, please? Thank you very much. It is a much lighter round than that 9mm. So for a, I mean, it's not just lady specific, even for a man. If you want, well, that's for me. Everybody is different as far as their hand sizes and grips. For me, if I have pinky hang off and I can't accomplish at least some type of pinky placement on my grip, it kind of turns me off a little bit. And although this is you said this is a compact pistol, I still accomplish that full-size grip. So that is also great. You have a fiber optic front sight. You do have the ports in the slide. So this does look like it could be a pretty good, and it's
affordable.
Very affordable.
Has
and
a safety.
Oh, and it has the safety. So if the safety is something that you're looking for, most definitely this could be something that could be considered. Very nice. And just for the record, this is a Glocker.
Yeah, I don't always. I almost never recommend Glocks as the first gun right out of the gate, just because it's for me, but it doesn't mean it's for everybody. It's what I like. It's what I prefer. But honestly, if I'm keeping it real, before I got to Glock, I tried almost everything on the shelf. I went to Springfield, I went SIG, I went Smith, I went all types of guns. You could CZ, tried them all, and then I kind of found my home at Glock because it's just what I'm used to. It's what I shoot the most.
Right.
So, but I know for some people it's not the most aesthetically pleasing. It doesn't have the safety, so that's like a big deal breaker for at least beginners. This is more a gun for like somebody that kind of already knows what they want, is familiar with the platform, and they kind of, have experience, because it can be, like deal breakish because of the whole safety thing.
Awesome. Okay. So now 9mm. If we are looking, say, oh no, well, I don't want to go 380. I want to go 9mm. So let's, what would you recommend for me as far as 9mm goes?
If we're going 9mm, since there is so many options, it's kind of hard to narrow it down to one. I always like to ask, like, what is the person's desired, like, budget? Kind of some parameters they want to stay in between. Because I don't want to show you a $900 gun that I think is great, but you're just like, I don't really want to spend so much right now. I'm kind of just getting into it. I want to learn. So I kind of always, like, kind of lead them towards, like, a Shield Plus or, like, a Taurus G2C, G3.
Great choices.
They give you, like, great grips. I can show you some of them here in comparison to this.
Okay.
Even honestly, these do very great. The SD9s, safe, empty. These are 9mm. They don't have a safety, but they're very affordable, and they have a great grip. So when you grip them for the first time, your whole hand sits on it. They have fiber optic sights. It's just a very nice gun overall.
Very nice looking gun as well. Okay, so this is the Smith & Wesson SD9 VE. Obviously, it is a bigger pistol, so this would be more of on your full-size scale.
It would be near, yeah, it's still technically considered a compact.
Okay,
but it's
so yeah, but it's
near.
on the more of the full-size scale as far as feel. For me, just at first look, it looks like it could be a great practicing tool, getting out there, getting used to it, getting those shots, and getting familiar with what's going on with the firearm, because it's more than just feel. You have to like your sights and all that good stuff. The fundamentals, exactly. But it seems. Good morning, Martha.
We have the official coffee maker of Miami Guns.
Cafecito. Go ahead. I'm ready. It's been like a month. It's been a month. But actually carrying this would be a little bit more difficult for me. I mean, if I am wearing something as similar as what it is that I'm wearing now. So yes, this is also I've never shot one of these before, but it feels good.
Yes.
And I am loving the sights.
Triggers aren't the best. I mean, again, we're here budget friendly. You're not gonna get the crispest, nicest trigger. Still a very good trigger. It's a very good gun overall. You get 15 rounds. There's really, for the money, there's not a lot of other stuff I would pick. But like you said, it doesn't fit everybody because of the size. That's again where we're going to, what are you going to apply the gun to?
Right.
If you're going to apply it to carrying, maybe you don't want to go with that. That's when we would dive into like the Shield Plus territory. But if you're going to keep it at home or target practice, that's
this
affordable.
Would be a great tool to use to get out there and become familiar with the fundamentals of your carry option. Although the fundamentals or the base of it is the same thing as far as your sights go and your grip and all that stuff. You would be able to apply the same concept with your carry pistol, but yet have the ability to have that full-size feel when you're actually practicing or training yourself on how to become a proficient
shooter. Yeah.
Very good. That's a good choice. I like this. Interesting. So, 9mm carry.
9mm carry. I would say I have like two that are tried and true, and they almost always seem to fit everybody and their budgets most of the time. So one is obviously the Shield Plus, Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. This is
drop that slide for me, please.
Yeah, this is very nice, very stiff.
Very nice. The Smith & Wesson Shield Plus. Now this also is a very budget-friendly carry option. The grip feels good. Let me put this right here really quick. It should stay up. The grip feels good. You do have a capacity of 13+1, and this is a very good deal. Ladies or gentlemen, this is a great. Oh, this one. Oh no, that's lint. I was gonna say, well, what is this? This is different. That's lint. This is a great option for a beginner carry piece.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
So we always recommend that one again because it's so budget friendly and the quality, the bang that you're getting for the buck is very good. It's cheap, it's not too expensive, and you still get your 9mm, you still get 13 rounds, so you almost have the same amount of rounds that this carries in a way smaller package.
Right.
It does have a safety, so they have two options.
That's
you can
another
get
thing.
it with the safety like this configuration. You can get it without a safety. It's really up to you. And then they even have them like optic ready and all that other nice fun stuff. Then the other one I recommend, believe it or not, is the SIG P365.
Oh, it made the cut. Drop that slide for me, please. The SIG P365. Yes, this is also a very nice feeling pistol in the hand. As you can see, you are the sizes of these are very nice concealable options. Great shoot as well. I really enjoy that. And yeah, so again, although it's not a one size fit all, we can try to squeeze everybody.
There is a size for everybody.
There is a size for everybody. You're absolutely correct. So we covered the number one thing, which is the safety. And again, remember, if you are not in that experience level of carrying at that point, and you're not going to have a round chambered, then yes, I do understand that extra sense of security with having that safety, but don't let that be a deal breaker.
Nope.
Don't let it be a deal breaker. There's nothing to be afraid of, but the responsibility with the firearm is all the same with safety or without safety. Everything needs to be treated as if it was loaded, and everybody's safe. Nobody will have a problem.
Yeah, it's all practice, and of course, you have to have discipline in your fundamentals. You have to, always remember the steps. Always treat it as if it's loaded. Figure off the trigger till you're ready to shoot. As long as you keep practicing that, and you shouldn't have any issues. And even with the safety, in crazy, situations, or there's some guns that just come defective. So even with the safety, an accident can still happen. That's why you always have to treat
everything
as if it's loaded. You have to treat it with a lot of respect, and just practice the fundamentals. Practice.
Exactly. And I think for me, that is the number one question that I get. What do you recommend?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, recommending is not the best practice when you're trying to get somebody.
There's no sure answer when it comes to that, because you like SIG and you're comfortable shooting SIG. That's what fits your hand. It's what you love. But I pick up a SIG and I don't like it. I don't like the way the trigger feels. I don't like this. I don't like that. But then I like Glock, and you don't really like Glock that much as I do. So I can't tell everybody asks me that question like, here, Glock 43X.
Right.
Because that's just very, you're kind of narrowing everybody down to a certain.
Right.
And that's not the thing.
So another thing that I would recommend, and I think a very great value that you can get here in this shop, is you do have the ability to rent a lot of the firearms that you see in the cases, so that you can get the feel for them before you actually make that jump out there and get that purchase or make that purchase. They are pretty well kept, so I know, but they're not gonna, they're not gonna keep the guns up. They're really well kept up. They do a really good job with that. So you coming here and trying one or two, maybe all, if you please. I think nobody will have an issue.
No,
with
sometimes
that.
even like if I'm carrying, like I switch my carry up depending on the day or what I want to wear. Like I'll be carrying oddball guns sometimes, and maybe we don't have them in the rental, but if that's what I'm carrying that day, I'll even let you shoot my carry. I don't, just so I like you to make sure that what you purchase and when you leave satisfied. I don't want you to leave and be like, yeah, he kind of pressured me into this purchase, because that's not the way,
And
you need to make sure you like what you're buying, because this is theoretically what's gonna save your life. So
Right,
want to make
and
sure you're equipped.
those I don't call them, well, I guess they're a little influence purchases, can be sometimes not the best fitting purchase.
Yeah, no, they're horrible, because you go off of what your cousin's boyfriend that's a cop said, and this guy works on duty. He carries a Glock 17. He's out there protecting himself and in a duty setting. It's not going to apply to you if you work at an office, and the most outside you go is like to the gym.
Right.
Like that's not really, whatever he might recommend you is not really going to apply. You need a more of a person that can relate to you, or that has the knowledge that can relate to more scenarios than just being, police based or military based or firearms instructor based. It's like you got to kind of get like all walks of life.
Very, very good. So I think we've covered. Now, if you have any additional questions, please make sure you drop those in the comments. But I think we've pretty much covered the base or the foundation of the jittery feelings of the first-time gun buyer coming in, or the uneasiness coming into the gun shop. But if you had one last thing that you can tell or leave on their minds, what would it be?
Oh man, that's tough, because there's like so much info you want to give them. Definitely one of them would be come shop at Miami Guns. But no, I definitely tell them that it doesn't end. Basically, the purchase of the firearm, it doesn't stop there.
It's just the beginning.
That is the
Right.
first step you're taking, and then after that, it's a responsibility. Because think about it, you're carrying something that could potentially take a life or injure somebody. Life-threatening thing that you're carrying around. You're deciding to make this purchase, this step. So honestly, after your purchase, just train, practice, get in the range as much as you can, use it as much as you can, get familiar with it, because you kind of want to be a master of your craft, right? And this is a tool that you're using. So it's like if you're trying to build a house and I give you like a drill, and I don't teach you how to use it, you can't do anything.
Right. Licenses, they have that here as well. And Ignacio is an awesome range officer. If you have any questions, first-time shooter, he will take you in there, go over the fundamentals of it, and I'm sure anybody here.
Just no rapid fire with Ignacio.
Yes, please don't. Anybody here will be more than willing to help you get through that hurdle. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited. I'm proud of you. You can do it. I am really proud of every one of you that are considering and taking this huge step. And again, I hope we covered as much
as the basics
part of it. So if you want any more, just head on over to Miami Guns. Have a chit chat with the guys. Anybody here, everybody's great. I've called their names 1,006 times. So anybody that, I guess you just choose whoever it is that you want to talk to at that point. So, anything else?
Train.
Become comfortable, become the best.
Don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yes.
Like, don't be shy. That always helps. A lot of people come into the range, and even that's another thing I see a lot. Not to throw off track here, but they'll come into the range and they'll be like, "Yeah, I've shot before. I know all of this stuff." And then they'll go into the back, and you're watching them on the cameras, and you could tell they don't know what they're doing, but they're just shy to say, "Hey, I don't know how to do it. It's my first time. Can you teach me?" And bro, honestly, just ask for help. We prefer you to ask for the help than to go back there and hurt yourself or somebody else.
Right. Yes, please. This is not an ego situation here. Please come in there. It'll never be an ending to the learning process when it comes to firearms.
Ever. You're always learning.
You're always learning something. So please do not take the education for granted that you can receive from just, people who are knowledgeable. Remember, people who are knowledgeable, it is important to, listen and observe and just take that in. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like to see more content like this, please drop that in the comments so that we can touch bases on this and we can be able to get into this a little bit more. Listen, yo, gang, y'all already know I want to say I love it when things work, but I'm sure everything right here works. But I love y'all for life. Peace.